chance that it's going to hit Earth in 7 years. Apparently, we can't do anything about it. Like, we have to do something about it in the next 6 months, or we can't do anything.
Nice. All right, got a creeper. Premium creeper, 400 pounds. Got 22-ton jack stands. Got that nice little tool chest for working underneath or sitting on it. And bought a new multimeter since we're into electronics now. So that all came to $400. Bought a $29 one-year membership for the deals. So not too bad for some good stuff. All right, there you go. Screwdrivers, mallet back here, wire brush, wrenches, open end, box end wrenches, sockets. Ready to roll. Get our creeper. All right. Much nicer getting under there. Got our tools, got our creeper. Got a little padding here. Little headrest. It's gonna be nice. Right. Time to go on an Easter egg hunt, and this is what we're looking for under there. Let's get on our creeper. Alright, let's get back under there. Just watched a YouTube. Guy replaced it on a Cherokee. And it was off to the off to the right of this pen, but we need our flashlight. Hang on. All right, we found it. To give you orientation where we're at, this is the front of the vehicle. Right side, left tire. And there's this pan right here underneath the transmission. And so found that right up in there. Get a picture of it. It's right there. pulled the cap off of it. So you see there's linkage and stuff there. So this is the guy right there. So we'll clean that up and replace it. In the YouTube video, he had fluid that came out. So here's a pretty good shot of it. Transmission fluid came out when he pulled that. He used a 1-inch socket to take that out. So let's get a 1-inch socket and try to pull that out. Maybe get the oil pan under here. All right, there's that guy. We're just gonna clean it up a little bit. Alright, it's a tight fit up there, but it's able to get a socket on there and a little extension. Got this drive shaft that's in the way, so we'll see if we can torque this off with both hands and catch any transmission fluid that might fall out of there. Again, this is the neutral safety switch, 1986 Jeep Comanche that we're replacing. Alright, we got an oil pan under here just in case. I got this loosened up, so we'll hopefully get this out, get the other one in quickly so we don't lose too much transmission fluid. Hopefully nothing comes out of there, but we'll see. Just not a lot of room up there. I think it's turning. Oop. I think we caught most of it. See if I can get that started up there. Well, it's a good thing watch that guy's YouTube. It would have been a surprise to have that transmission fluid come out. But this is what we pulled off. So it's moment of truth. See if she's going to start with a new neutral safety switch. I don't know if I'd bet any money on it, but we'll see. negative. So, next step is to take this dash off and get to the ignition switch. Replace that. So, let's get to it. We're going to have to pull all this off, this lower dash. We could have some wire problems with these CB radios and this amplifier that's been wired in, but I don't know. I think, let's see. Let's try this in neutral. Nothing. Well, we're down to one last thing that it can be, and that's the ignition switch. Replaced everything else, so might as well replace the ignition switch. So we'll go to O'Reilly's and get a switch. I'm not sure what time they close on Sunday, so shouldn't be too bad. Just gotta remove that lower dash, and there's some sensors and stuff you got to be careful with to disconnect. I saw a guy doing it on YouTube, so let's go get that ignition switch and see if that's going to be the problem. So hopefully, if not, it's just going to be, I guess, a wiring short somewhere that we'll have to try to figure out. But it's what happens when you do it yourself and you don't know what you're doing. But we'll get her figured out. And we're getting parts replaced at the same time, so it's not all bad. So this is the ignition switch, and it goes on the top of the steering column. So we got to pull all this dash stuff off. But we're going to pull out all this stuff as well as we go along here. Just because it's kind of cool having a CB radio, but it's just down in the way and stuff. So we're going to pull that out, pull out the wires, and kind of clean things up a little bit. But the goal is to get this ignition switch installed. Hopefully that's the problem. So looks like we got some screws, Phillips, and let's get rid of this. Found our wiring problem. Oh my gosh. All right. Like not to have to disconnect everything if we can help it. But I think we do. All right. Just 3 wires we had to disconnect. Still snagged on something over there. Oh, it's the emergency brake. We can disconnect that. Alright, should come out now. What is that? All right, now it should come out. There we go. Let's get rid of that. Then we gotta remove these bolts here. Drop the steering column down to get to the switch. It's up there. All right, so now we gotta take those 2 bolts off on the steering column. And so we can drop the steering down. Not sure about this. Oh, took care of that. All right, we are getting there. We got the 2 bolts out, but we have to remove this cross brace here that is right there. There's 2 of them, but we just got to remove that bolt right there. Right there. Looks like a big one. Right there it is back there. Those wires coming into the right side of it. And here's our new one. Which will go in like that to replace that. So I guess there's I think those are the high beams, low beam lights that we gotta make sure we maintain those, but I'm not sure how that connects onto the bracket, but we'll figure it out. Well, we got it pulled out. That's it. Hard to tell if it's bad or not, but we'll go ahead and change her out. With the new one. Well, I think we might have found the problem. That connector right there looks very questionable. So I think we need to try to replace that somehow, some way. See if they have that fitting. That pin right there. Right there. Looks fried to me. That's good news. Oh, that's a lot of work pulling that. So let's go to O'Reilly's and see if we can find a new connector. Right, we had to go to a couple O'Reilly's to get this, but and it's going to take a connector, some splicing of the wire, but should do the job. Let's get her hooked up. That is no bueno. Alright, we got that spliced together. Now we need to All right, funny story. Well, maybe not so funny for me, but maybe funny for you. But replaced just about everything in the ignition system, starting system. New starter, new starter relay, new ignition switch, new relays, and the whole time, I think it was this guy right here. Didn't know what this was, but turns out my brother had a lock, and all it was probably a lock somewhere. But anyway, went down, and the other troubles were probably caused by me messing with stuff, who knows. But good news is we got all new parts in the rig. Strong starter, and anyway, haven't started it yet since I went underneath and adjusted the safety neutral switch. That has to be adjusted or it's not going to get a ground coming back to the starter relay. So I went down there and tried tightening it. That didn't work, so I loosened it, and it had my test light down there. And so anyway, let's go in the rig and see. Got the new ignition switch installed. Still have the lower dash pulled because you had to drop the steering wheel a little bit to get to that ignition switch. Let's see if she starts. Pretty sure it will, but you never know. Negative. All right, pretty late at night here, about 11:30 p.m. 10th time is the charm, I'm thinking. What we did was we weren't getting a good ground off that safety neutral switch, so I just threw in the old one, and because I don't think we had a problem with that in the first place. So I put the old one in, and so far we're getting a start, but just got it hooked back up on the steering column, so let's, 10th time is the charm, see if it works. Cross our fingers. Got it in park. My gosh. Wow. All right, we got that first bolt. That ignition switch is very finicky about where it has to be positioned. So before you start putting everything back together, check it. Make sure that ignition switch is in the right location it needs to be. That's been one of our problems. So instead of bolting everything down until the last and then checking your ignition, just do it step by step, so you know you got it before you bolt everything up. Lesson learned. All right, I'm not gonna say anything this time.